Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching my weekly reading for the week of February 14th through the 20th. Well, this is the final week of Mercury retrograde, and we're ending off the Aquarian reign for 2021. So this week does offer us many opportunities. And a lot of those opportunities, of course, kicks off on the Sunday, on February 14th, which of course is Valentine's Day. The day that exudes and is the epitome of love. Yes, I know it's been commercialized and taken over. However, that core, that center of love is still there. Should you reach out for it and embrace it? So this week, we are going to be focusing in on that loving energy, how we can combine it with the Aquarian energy to utilize this week and get a lot done. Use this week to our advantage. Of course, we are going to look at those challenges and how we can overcome them with greater ease to embrace these opportunities even more. I couldn't think of any better decks to help us out with this adventure other than, of course, the Wizard's Tarot, the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, and then the Creative Visions Expansion Pack to the Sovereign Oracle. And like always, there are links below to all these amazing decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. And then your selections, my friends, for this week, we have some Amazonite, Rose Quartz, and Lapis Lazuli. I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you the most right now. It may not be your favorite crystal, but it's the one that you can't keep your eyes off of. Choose that crystal and then go into the description box below. There you're going to find timestamps. Click on your crystal's correlating timestamp. It's going to take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Amazonite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and the oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and fulfilling reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Amazonite friends. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the week of February 14th through the 20th? Wisdom. It's a good week. That insight, that knowledge, how to go forward, what's going to bring in that fulfillment and joy, help with your growth and your development. Those aha moments, they're going to come fast and furious. We need to make sure that we have that stable, grounded foundation to be open to this insight, to this wisdom that's going to help us. It's going to help us get unstuck, shift us into high gear, and get us going again. Now, if you saw my Aquarian readings that I did almost a month ago, I said that Aquarius wants to shift us back into that action stage. Rather than getting ourselves stuck up in what happened in the last year, we realign ourselves into getting ourselves going again, finding fulfillment and joy rather than heartache and pain. We need that shift in perspective, shift in gears to support us. And this week, like I said in the introduction, offers us amazing opportunities for that guidance, for that understanding, pushing us in the right direction. Let's get a little bit more insight into this. What should my Amazonite friends focus in on this week? Love it. Create something. Use your hands. Let it be perfectly imperfect. Focus on the act of creation. Such a fantastic card. This isn't about that perfect scenario. The guidance, that insight, it's going to help us to accept where we're at right now and truly make the best of it. We're looking for perfection, and that perfection is where your ego is misdirecting you. You're never going to find that quote unquote perfect situation or perfect life. We're not going to get that white picket fence that was once that goal. And those who do have the white picket fence, there are always things that we need, because we need to reach that perfect life, that unachievable perfection. We need to be open and accepting of our imperfect life. Embrace where we're at, and then using the guidance, that insight, standing up and making the shifts that are going to be meaningful for us. That quote unquote perfect, that's a societal representation, a construct that may or may not have any meaning for you. You need to have this imperfect, crazy life that's yours, and make it your own. Make it meaningful in your way. That is what this week is offering you, to start to make that imperfect perfect for you. So let's look at this week. Let's get into this a bit more. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the beginning of the week? Judgment, the 20th card in the Major Arcana. Whoop. So, we have that insight, that wisdom from the high vibrational beings and the universe, starting off on day 1. Kicking our week off with that knowledge and that insight. We need to slow down, take that time, and be present for us in our experience. That's the only way we're going to be open to that guidance and that insight. We need to take that time for us to shift our gears and be present. The high vibrational beings, they're leaving messages hidden within plain sight. They're going to be sharing repeated messages with you throughout that beginning part of the week. I would suggest in the beginning of the week, making sure you have your spiritual binder with you to jot down repeated numbers, images, insight that you get throughout your day. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know what a spiritual binder is, it's just really a binder that you're keeping all this information in. Many people talk about a spiritual journal to write down little pieces of tidbit information. Well, it's not always that nice and tidy. I find with a binder, you have more flexibility to add in information and insight that is shared with you through the internet, through online means, through pictures. And the high vibrational beings, they use the internet, that technology, to their advantage, sending you those random searches that have nothing to do with the keywords you put in. But all of a sudden, you're looking at an angel site. You're like, what? You get a spam email that doesn't make any sense because the high vibrational beings are sending messages to you. Do be mindful that the low vibrational beings can also use technology to their advantage. So be careful what you click on, because you don't want to get yourself into more trouble. It's the keywords, the information that pops out at you. Keywords, repeated words that bring in meaning. The high vibrational beings are not going to send you on a wild goose chase. It's just repeated numbers, words, phrases, and pictures. That symbol. So in a binder, you can print off things. You can print off pictures that resonate with you. You can keep things organized in a grander scale than a tiny little book. So that's why I suggest a spiritual binder rather than having it in a small book. But having that binder with you, it's going to be essential to keeping this insight and wisdom straight. We gain a lot of aha moments that may not make sense. We need to collect this wisdom and insight like puzzle pieces so that you can go back, reflect into it, and start to connect them all together to see a bit of a picture. So, the beginning of the week, we are going to have that. We're going to have that insight and that guidance. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the middle of the week? The Nine of Swords. Well, that insight, that guidance, it's going to rattle your ego. That heartache, that pain, that resistance to growth and development, it's going to come up fast and furious. Your ego does not want you to follow the divine guidance, that high vibrational support and wisdom. It wants you stuck and stagnant so that you are quote unquote protected. Well, that's going to be a bit of a bear, I won't lie. However, manageable, especially as you know what's coming forward. That's the one thing that I really enjoy about doing these weekly readings. As you get that heads up when things are going to be a bit challenging, or when things are going to be going really well and you can get excited and have that anticipation. We should be excited about that insight, that mapping out, that guidance, that support we need. Of course, our ego will tantrum. That's what our ego does. However, being aware of it, we can put in some supports. So, for example, one thing that you can do in the middle of the week, or even in the beginning of the week, to lessen the ego's ability to slow you down, to cause that heartache and pain, is a meditation that I did with Archangel Metatron on releasing that pain. If you've released it, well, there's not much more your ego's going to be able to throw at you. It lessens that kind of crashing that the ego likes to do. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know what I'm talking about, I have two playlists, two meditative playlists. One is Healing with the Archangels, where I collaborate with an archangel and we take on an aspect of your healing. And then the other one is a Just You and Me playlist, where you and I sit down and work on a tool to support you over that situation or event you're looking at, so you can embrace and enjoy your experience and adventure. Both these playlists are free to you to use to revisit as you need. They're a guided meditation that take about 30 minutes. There are so many healing and supportive elements to meditation that will help with, the challenges, that insight and wisdom. When we meditate, we are slowing our heart rate. We're being present for the here and now. We're opening ourselves up to the insight and guidance of the high vibrational beings. So that's why I'm saying that even participating in the meditation at the beginning of the week will support you in slowing yourself down, opening you up to what it is you need that's going to support you in getting yourself motivated again. So even though the middle of the week might be a bit of a challenge, we can easily overcome it with some foreplanning. And Archangel Metatron is a fantastic support in helping to get us connected in to that higher vibrational path. He has so many hats. One of them, of course, supports us with that releasing, but another one is to connect us into that higher meaning, to that guidance and insight that we need, connecting us in to the path ahead. He's a fantastic archangel that helps to motivate us and get us going. So he's going to help us connect in and, like I said, motivate us. Let's go on to the end of the week. We're starting off with a bang, having a little bit of a blip, but let's see where this goes. Whoa! What can my Amazonite friends expect from the end of the week? The 7 of Cups, the 7 deadly sins. Some of it is important, others not so much. When you're looking at the 7 of Cups, you're looking at uncertainty. There's a veil of confusion that we need to wade through. Like I said, there are aspects and pieces that we're going to need throughout our journey. Some are going to be supportive to us, while others are going to misdirect us and cause stagnation. It's that insight and guidance that we're looking at that's going to help you know your pathway forward. Help to release that veil of confusion. The more you're open to that insight and wisdom, the more you're giving time for yourself to be present, the more you're going to know which cup you need to connect in with. I know that can be really challenging because we get caught up and we're really uncertain on how we need to go forward. Because many of us struggle with our intuitive abilities. So the end of the week, another meditation that you may want to try is a meditation that I did with Archangel Raziel, where we connect in with your intuitional skills, helping to strengthen them, to strengthen that connection and understanding to that insight and wisdom. Again, another meditation to slow you down. Connect in and use more of your brain. When we meditate, we start to balance out our usage of our brain. On any given point, we usually favor one side of our brain more than the other. There's scientific research on how when you meditate and you slow your breath, you start to align your brain so you're balancing out and using more of that space, of that beautiful cognitive space. So, taking that time to balance things out, to empower you to connect in to this amazing insight and wisdom that's going to help you forward. I know many of us get caught up in going, well, it's not a clear path. I don't understand my path. That's okay. We just need to keep working at it. This week helps to get us motivated, get us going again, get our hands involved with this, taking that action space. We're an active participant rather than this idle bystander who's watching their life go by, getting stuck and stagnant. We may not have the clearest of maps, where you have your GPS telling you when to turn and how to go forward. We need to trust in the high vibrational beings and in our support team, knowing that they've got our back and will continue to guide us forward, whether we understand it clearly or not. Taking that small step forward, those continuous small steps will start to create distance and shifts in your life that create a stable change that you can maintain. So, starting out and setting intention, being an active participant rather than a stuck watcher of the world. You need to engage in your life. Engage in what's happening right here and right now. That's going to help you out and get you back on track. Let's see what else we can bring in to help you out here. Whoa! Cards are flying. What blessing can my Amazonite friends embrace for the week of February 14th through the 20th? These cards are flying today. Taking out the stable cards, we have cards jumping here and there. Oh yeah. Sometimes they're very clear. Impasse. Yep, there you go. Boom, in your face. There are other ways than tackling things head on. And it's using our creativity, our skills, and our abilities to move ourselves around and find creative solutions to our problem. We can't stop our ego. It's part of us. It's the low vibrational part of us. However, we can start to take control by participating in activities that are meaningful for us, that help us gain added wisdom and insight to the challenge ahead. Finding those creative and meaningful solutions that will help you overcome the challenge. Like I said, we don't need to take things head on, because when we take things head on, that's when we cause more fear, more heartache. We're not looking at healing everything right now. That's an impossibility. We have to take things slow and steady. We rip off that Band-Aid and things are going to get really messy. That heartache and pain is going to gush out and cause even more stagnation, because it causes added fear and added doubt. That added fear and added doubt helps you to regress back further, causing more blockages and problems and barriers to moving yourself forward, moving through and developing and growing as you need. That's why that small, steady, stable step is so necessary. We're not causing added fear and heartache. We're supporting ourselves through stable and high vibrational movements, one step at a time. Soulmate. Had to come up, guys. Come on. Day 1 here, we've got Valentine's Day. Whether you have your soulmate in your life or not, this movement forward, this connection back to the path at hand will either bring you to your soulmate or strengthen your relationship with your soulmate. Our soulmates, they're there, just as we're there for them. Whether or not your paths have crossed in a meaningful way that shouts, I'm here, well, that's an individual piece. Knowing that that person is there and you can connect in with them, that's an important inspiration. If you're looking for them and you're struggling to find them, connecting into your soul's deeper purpose and raising your vibration through taking time for you, strengthening you, will help to raise your vibration. Your soulmate is looking for your energetic signature, your vibration, not your bank account, not what you look like. You connect in on that deeper level. So we need to strengthen that energetic signature to become a beacon, attracting them to you. And if your soulmate is in your life, they're going to be supporting you to get back on track as you support them to also get on their track. As your soulmate's track, they run parallel with yours. So that soulmate is going to be an important incentive or support for you this week as well. That loving energy of Valentine's that's starting off the week, it's going to help amplify that connection to your soulmate. It's a fantastic cherry on top of an already amazing week. Now, I did forget, because I got caught up in the supports and that guidance, the challenge. We know your ego and that heartache and pain, that sadness and fear, it's going to be a challenge. Let's look to see what the weekly challenge is for you guys. What challenge will my Amazonite friends face for the week of February 14th through the 20th? The Eight of Pentacles. Now, eights are about movement and manifestation. And the Eight of Pentacles talks about that very detailed orientated focus. We're going to lack that this week. We're going to have that inner toddler squirreling out big time. Everything's going to be shiny and fluffy. Look at that. Look at how amazing cups there are. Woo! So, to help with that squirreliness and that shiny fluffy that we want to be chasing, we need to take control. This can have an element of your ego, but it can also be that resistance to focusing in on that end result. We've had quite a year, and it continues to go forward. We kind of have a bit of a quote-unquote safe space. So this safety that we've created helps to distract us, if you will. It's time to focus in and get ourselves focused at the task at hand. One of the ways we can do that, of course, is through grounding ourselves. We need to have that grounded, stable energy to embrace this wisdom. I have a number of meditations that can support you with that grounding. With my Archangel playlist, 2 of them come to mind. I've got Archangel Ariel, which is a fantastic grounding meditation. She helps to ground you more fully than you've ever been grounded before. Another one that comes to mind is one I did with Archangel Sandalphon. It helps to rebalance and stabilize you, to connect you in with that harmony and balance of the universe. Very much connected in to that judgment card. Additionally, I also have a balancing meditation in my Just You and Me playlist, giving you a tool to support you in grounding you wherever you are. Additionally, you can use crystals to your advantage to support you through this week. Knowing that we need that stability and clarity will support you in choosing which crystals you would like to carry or keep close. So for grounding, things like tiger iron or black obsidian, anything red or black that connects into your root chakra. And then for that clarity, you're looking at something like citrine or selenite. Going in and seeing what crystals you have will support you in figuring out how you want to go forward with that crystal support. And if you don't have crystals, that's okay. We've got meditations that's going to help. And you can use visualizations. You can use essential oils, whatever you connect in with the most. That way, you're turning the Eight of Pentacles from an obstacle to an ally, supporting you in that very detailed, orientated energy that's based in work and dedication. We need that with that wisdom to support us in engaging with what's going to support us the most this week. That's going to help us with that direction. So, we need to turn that Eight of Pentacles. And you're the only one who can do that, as everybody needs to have that grounded energy within them. That's an individual piece. So, back on track now. We're going to end off this reading on any further insight and guidance I can share with you. And before I do that, I need to point something out. So we have this impasse card. Well, before it, we have this soulmate card. And it kind of looks like your soulmate is sticking their tongue out at your impasse or your ego. This is why I love the cards so much. You can gain a lot of insight on what the pictures are showing you. We are very much a species that relies on imagery, connecting in with that symbolism. So, like I said, your soulmate is going to be an important incentive or support for you this week. What further guidance, support, and insight can we share with my Amazonite friends for the week of February 14th through the 20th? The Hanged Man, the Let It Go card, the 12th card in the Major Arcana, encouraging you to release what's not working and embrace what is. That high vibrational, loving energy that's going to take you far this week. We can't get caught up in those preconceived notions, those expectations and demands. We need to be in the here and now, not caught up in the past or hyper-focusing in on the future. Those worries, those fears, they're going to slow you down. Allow that high vibrational support to guide you forward rather than causing added stagnation and pain. The Knight of Cups. Knights are that adolescent, no fear energy. They encourage you into action. And with the Knights, Pamela Coleman Smith, who drew the original deck, have the Knights in varying stages of motion. Now we have this intuitive, caring Knight of Cups. Pamela Coleman Smith drew him in this kind of slow, trotty saunter, if you will. That slow, steady progression, using our intuition to guide us forward. Reconfirming that need to connect in with our intuitive abilities to continue forward rather than staying stagnant. And finally, the Two of Swords. of course, that balance, that stability, guided through by that knowledge. We can't get caught up in the pain. We need to use our critical thinking skills and our head to support us in making high vibrational choices for our greater good. Our ego can't stand up to the critical thinking. There's no solid basis to your ego. It's all the what ifs and that pain. When you use your critical thinking skills, you use more of your brain, you're able to make higher vibrational, meaningful choices for you. And when we do that, we start to raise our energetical signature, which raises our vibration, which brings in the supports that we need, that abundance that we want. It's up to us, though, to push ourselves forward, no matter what heartache and fear our ego brings up. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this reading. I hope that you found this reading fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which helps us to start raise our vibration as a whole. Additionally, if you did like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way, my friends. You don't want to miss any of it. And the best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight, healing, and learning is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell. And if you want, I also have a Patreon page. So if you want to support me in making more of these videos, you can head down into the description box. There you're going to find a link to my Patreon page. Of course, there you're going to find it full of perks and tiers that include things like free readings and healings. And of course, I also have that library of Patreon exclusive videos just for my supporters. Like I said, I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Amazonite friends. Hello and welcome, my rose quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most fulfilling and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my rose quartz friends. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the week of February 14th through the 20th? Acceptance. Like I said, this is a fantastic week. There is so much that this week is going to offer us. Those opportunities are going to be right there. We have that ability to connect in, accept ourselves more, understand ourselves more, giving us the ability to make some choices, some shifts that are going to be meaningful for you. That self-acceptance and love, it's going to be a hallmark of this week. Actually, check that. It's going to be a hallmark of the year. That understanding and knowledge of self, being able to live that authentic life, being the authentic you. It's going to help to raise your vibration even more, opening up even more opportunities, more possibilities, which lead into more fulfillment, more joy, and of course, more abundances. That acceptance of self, that love of self, well, those are core elements into self-acceptance. to that authentic life. And this week offers you some amazing strides in loving you a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more clarification on that. What should my rose quartz friends focus in on this week? I love these decks. It doesn't matter which expansion pack or oracle deck I choose in the Sovereign line, they are spot on. Emote. More feeling, less intellect. Connect with a visceral experience to give added life to the work. Fully appreciate your emotions. Then make your mark. Part of ourselves is our emotional health, our emotional state. Accepting where it is we are and where our emotional health is at helps to strengthen us and helps us to shift out of spaces and aspects that we may not truly enjoy. We all have elements of self that we would like to nurture and to evolve. Taking that time, acknowledging them, and then nurturing and loving you. Now, I have a number of meditations that can support you with this. I've actually done 3 that are coming to mind. And it's the 3 I've done with Archangel Chamuel. Now, if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure about my meditations or what I'm talking about, I do have 2 playlists. One with my Archangel healing meditations and another with meditations that's called Just You and Me, where it's just you and me and we work on a tool. The meditations are all free, and you can visit and revisit them as you need to support you and strengthen you on your journey. The meditations I did with Archangel Chamuel are self-love and meditations connected in with that emotional, loving self. If you've never done one, please start with the first meditation that I did with Archangel Chamuel about a year ago. It will help to start that healing and release that you need. And then you can tap into the second and third meditation. The third one I brought out last week. It's a deep release and clearing meditation to help us to connect in more fully with that loving energy, opening us up to receiving and giving love on a deeper level. These meditations can support you throughout this week. And of course, if there's meditations that you see, please participate in them. Meditation is a fantastic tool to support us in balancing out us, grounding us, and allowing us to care for and love ourselves just a little bit. All my meditations, they're about 30 minutes long. They're a guided meditation that helps to calm that inner whirlwind, strengthening you and helping you to connect in to you just a little bit more. So let's get some direction into this week. Let's look at this week a bit more. What does the beginning of the week bring my rose quartz friends? The 3 of Cups. Now, the beginning of the week, of course, we're looking at Valentine's Day coming in on the Sunday. That celebration, that heart, the epitome of love. One of the things that we need to remember is that we're not on this journey alone. One of the ways that we can accept ourselves even more, helping us to understand us, is to get the feedback and support from those who know us our best. Friends and family that have that positive role within your life. I know many of us are still under restrictions and there's a lot of concerns. We don't have to go to them physically. We can reach out in different modalities to connect in. We have technology that we can use to our advantage. Using creative methods to receiving that insight that's going to help you most right now. That's going to be the most meaningful. Not only can they give you an honest feedback, they're going to strengthen and support you in this acceptance and understanding of you, helping you to connect in with where you're at right now. They can also probably give you some guidance and some ideas and tips on how to go forward. Additionally, this support team can be on the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So depending on how comfortable you feel about connecting in and using your intuition and clairs, you can receive a lot of insight and feedback, that support and wisdom from the beginning of the week, helping to set yourself up right. This week, it needs to be about you and understanding you. We need to strengthen you, giving you that direction you need to connect in, to love you. So, at the beginning of the week, reach out, ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for that feedback. Your friends, your family, when it's a positive, healthy relationship, they know how to help you out the most because they understand you. And in some cases, see you more clearly than what you do. A lot of times we get wrapped up on expectations and demands, and we lose sight of us. We need to connect in, understand what it is you're dealing with right now, your situation as a whole right now, so you can make some high vibrational choices, starting to connect in with aspects and pieces that you want to keep. Well, looking at how you can nurture and release different parts that may not be serving you. That authentic whole self, that's where you need to get to. Added guidance and support, it's going to help us out the most right now. Help to clear out some of those misconceptions you have about you. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the middle of the week? Now, I like how we have the Three of Cups, and in tarot, cups are about intuition. They're about that emotion, that emotional state. Like I said, that's going to be an important element into this week. In the acceptance card, we have this spirit supporting this character. That cup, that intuition. Like I said, if you feel comfortable, reach out to your high vibrational support team. Now, if you're not too sure how to do that, I do have a meditation I did where we started to connect in with your high vibrational support team. It's an introductory to communication or channeling that can support you with reaching out to a being that's been with you since conception. That initial meditation supports you with reconnecting in with your guardian angel. I have 2 other meditations in my channeling series, and they're all in my Just You and Me meditation playlist. Starting off with that introductory to channeling or communication will support you in reaching out and connecting in with those beings that have been with you for quite some time that continue to support and guide you. The Hanged Man, the 12th card in the Major Arcana. I like to call this guy the Let It Go guy. And that's what we need to do. Releasing some of those expectations, those demands we have about self. Helping to understand and accept where we're at right now. Allowing that guidance and support that we need. No matter what our intuitive abilities are, we have that guidance. Slowing down and being open to these messages, this insight. We all have intuitive abilities. We all have that ability to connect in to our support team. Like I said, we can start off slowly. Taking time, meditating, and starting to work with our clairs. Clairs are our senses that help us to receive the messages from the high vibrational realm. Whether or not you've done a lot of work with your clairs, or what I'm talking about is kind of going over your head, the most important element here is to take that deep breath and allow yourself to slow down and be present in your current situation. It helps to open you up to those messages that are hidden in plain sight, those repetitions, those unexpected symbols that don't make a lot of sense. However, when you see them, you realize that there are beings and individuals supporting you and encouraging you forward. We don't have a tendency to notice them when we're wrapped up in expectations and demands. That's why it's important that we slow down and be mindful of what's right around us, right here and right now. Because right here and right now are the opportunities that are going to support us in shifting out of some of this low vibration stuckness and into opportunities of understanding and acceptance. So, gain some guidance in the beginning of the week and let go of some of those expectations and demands. And some of us are going to need to let go of misrepresentation of self. Like I said, those healing meditations with Archangel Chamuel, they're going to be important. We do have a lot of misunderstandings when it comes to accepting and loving us. Little shifts, little pieces that you can bring in throughout your day and your week to support you and aligning yourself and understanding yourself. That's some of the opportunities that you're looking at this week. They're not going to be grand shifts or changes. They are going to be manageable and pieces that are easily incorporated into your everyday, into your world. The universe doesn't want you to do those leaps and bounds, those leaps of faith, because they're unstable. We need that stability to help us with that acceptance and that growth that this week is offering you. So let's go on. Whoa. Okay, that one's important. To the end of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the end of the week? That's not surprising to see the devil. The 15th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at the archetype of your ego. Your ego isn't going to idly sit by and allow this to occur. your ego is going to say, yeah, not so much and not so fast. The end of the week, you're going to have some resistance from your ego, working in that misdirection and misunderstanding of self. However, with the guidance and support, you're going to be able to start to tame that ego. Release the nooses and the restraints that the ego has over you. It's hard to see in this card. However, in the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, she has this quintessential devil perched on a cube with two naked individuals. They have nooses around their neck, chains around their necks, that they can easily slip off. They have control. However, they don't have that acknowledgement that they do have the ability to tame the ego. You do. You might not feel like you do. However, you do. We need to start to break some of these patterns and beliefs about self, aligning them so that they're more high vibrational. Acknowledging where you're at right now, understanding how you have limiting beliefs about self, about what you can do, will support you in shifting and releasing them. We don't have to do this all this week. That identification, that's a big part. The meditations that I'm suggesting with Archangel Chamuel, it's a step in the right direction. This healing, this understanding of self, it's going to take some time. We need to enjoy this time, strengthening and rejuvenating us so that we are more invigorated in toppling that ego, making choices that are for our greater good, that bring in that fulfillment, that joy, and those abundances that bring in even more happiness, more joy, and more love. Taking time this week and loving you through self-care, through meditation, it's going to go a long way in acceptance and understanding you. Being present and mindful helps you to gain that guidance and insight. It's going to give you resolve and direction to overcoming that inner demon, that devil that helps to misdirect us, cause stagnation, and make life interesting, to say the least. So, this is the week, and I hate to do it, but your ego isn't the only thing that's going to challenge us this week. Let's look at that challenge. What challenge will my rose quartz friends face for the week of February 14th through the 20th? The Six of Wands. Now, sixes in tarot are about balance and harmony. That wand is that inner fire, that passion. Now, the Six of Wands talks about being victorious, succeeding in the challenge ahead. This week, we're not going to have that resolve. We're not going to have that trust in self. We don't understand ourselves enough to have it. We don't accept ourselves and our abilities, causing uncertainty and stagnation, that misunderstanding. Not to mention that with everything going on, we're not feeling entirely balanced or stable. Now, I said at the very beginning of this reading, those meditations, they're going to be important. They're going to create stability within you, create that balance within you. The more balanced we are, you start to turn the 6 from an obstacle to an ally. When you feel balanced, you feel rejuvenated, you feel stronger and more able to accept what it is you can achieve because you've taken that time for self. You've loved you, strengthened you, accepted you, which invigorates and empowers you. You're able to turn the 6 of Wands from a challenge to an ally, helping to reinforce that resolve, that understanding, and that acceptance. So yes, our ego is going to add that flare, crashing and booming of cards, that flare of uncertainty and misdirection. However, with that balance, that acceptance, that time for you, you start to invigorate you, realizing that you are the one holding you back. When we take that deep breath, we give ourselves permission to take that time for self. We start to heal and rejuvenate us. And it doesn't need to be a long period of time. That balance, it's going to be important. Balancing out all aspects of self so that we're working on all fronts. It seems like a lot, however, it doesn't have to be. When we start to set intentions, we can make things work on many fronts. It's that intention that's going to be the most important. Setting those intentions. I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to support and strengthen me so I feel stronger. As you do that, you take that time to meditate, you're starting to rebalance your inner workings. Instead of focusing in and functioning from one sphere of your brain, we usually have a tendency to do that. Meditation supports us in using more of our brain, opening up more opportunities, helping us to create solutions that are in our greater good, rather than just being reactive. We're letting go of some of those preconceived notions, and we're making choices that are for our best interest. So that intention, it matters. It goes a long way in shifting our perspective, shifting our experience and our energy. So let's go on to a little bit more shifting. Let's see what else can help us here. What blessings can my rose quartz friends embrace for the week of February 14th through the 20th? Impatience. Fantastic. So this card talks about many things. One, most of us have no ability to wait. We want that instant gratification. Give it to me now, or I'm going to take it personally because I can't succeed. I start to have that instability and uncertainty onto self. We need to slow down and take that time to be open to the supports that are all around us. We are not alone. They are supporting us in every means possible. We just don't see it. We're embracing things that we don't understand because we're not taking time to fully open ourselves up to what it is that's going on. Taking that time and being present is going to support us in understanding the wisdom and guidance that's being shared, helping to strengthen our clairs, strengthen our intuition. Rather than listening to our ego tantrum, we're able to hear the whispers of our intuition. It's easier to hear low vibration than high. That's why our support team and the high vibrational beings have no problem hearing us. We, however, need to slow down, set those intentions, and be mindful of the information that's being shared with us. So, we do have to have that patience for self, that acceptance of where we are on our journey, and the acceptance that we do have that support team. I know it feels like the universe is sometimes out to get us. However, it's not true. The universe and high vibrational beings, they're there with us, supporting us, helping us to experience all that we can in this lifetime. Instinct. Such a fantastic card. We know how to go forward. We just don't trust it. We don't trust that high vibrational self to give us that direction. We question it, we badger it. Our ego likes to try and command that instinct, command that high vibrational self. Take over. Start to tantrum so it drowns out that high vibration. Taking that time for you, slowing down and being present for you will support you in tapping in to this amazing high vibrational self that is within you. Starting to lessen the ego's tantrum and increase that high vibrational self that's going to support you in making decisions for your greater good. All right, so we know we want to listen to our high vibrational self. Let's see what other insight I can share with you. What further information, guidance, and wisdom can we share with my rose quartz friends for the week of February 14th through the 20th? I like how in these two cards we have the double moon here. If we shoot for the moon and end up in the stars, we are going high and forward. We're not getting stuck up in what the ego has in store for us. That stagnation, that heartache. Oh, how beautiful. The sun, the 19th card in the major arcana. And we're looking at that light, that love, and that joy. One thing we can't get caught up in is beating ourselves up and trying to force ourselves to accept us. It's not a yes or no aspect. We're not looking at, sure, I have to love every part of me. No. We have to acknowledge and understand every part of us, or what we can, so that we can make some decisions. What's working? What's not? What do you need to release? And what do you need to nurture? There isn't a right or wrong. There are pieces that we want to hold on to that are high vibrational, that are going to support us, and others that not so much. We need to focus in on the joy and the happiness. When we focus in on that, we're setting the intentions of light and love. When we have some happiness and joy in our everyday, and that can be part of that intention, focusing in on what's going right, we drown out our ego. We take control back. We start accepting aspects of self and your journey. So that high vibrational light and love is going to go a long way in overcoming and combating that devil. Now, I told you earlier to slow down and be present. This is how you can be present. So, we have the Sun, the Devil, and the Hangman. These are three major arcana. We have the Three of Cups. When you see that multiple three, the angels are telling you that something close to your heart needs to be expressed. And that if you use your creative self to support you in that self-expression, you're going to feel more connected and more able to move forward. So, like I said, that repetition, it's hidden in plain sight. Taking that time and, well, acknowledging it, looking into it. The King of Swords. Kings are that fully defined personality. They have the most control and the most power. Now, we need to be careful. We said here that we need to connect in with our feelings and kind of let them come forward. Well, too much feeling and heart center allows your ego to come in and flood it with heartache and fear. We need to balance it out a bit here. We have the King of Swords, and swords are all about that truth, that knowledge. We need to use our head to balance things out. Using the knowledge we have about our emotion, the knowledge we have about ourselves, to make those high vibrational choices. We don't want the reaction, that gut reaction of our ego. It causes more problems, more challenges. However, if we allow our emotion to come forward and we reflect in and use those critical thinking skills, we can question and assess whether or not what we're feeling is going to support us or hold us back. Making high vibrational choices for you, for your greater good. Sassy cards. Two of Pentacles. The quintessential balance card. Reconfirming that need for balance. Additionally, when we're feeling unstable, unsure, uncertain, taking that time and grounding ourselves, creating balance and stability within. When we're grounded, we feel more able to use our critical thinking skills, to reflect, to assess, to take on and combat the devil, combat our ego. Pentacles, they're all about that earthy groundedness, that growth and development. When you feel stable, when you feel secure, you're more able to create the magic that's going to take you further than that conflict. Now, grounding can feel really daunting, especially if you're new to this. And many of us really struggle with creating that grounded space. I do have a number of meditations in both playlists. You can go through and check in. I've got a grounding meditation in my Just You and Me playlist. I also have a number of grounding meditations with the archangels. One with Archangel Ariel and one with Archangel Sandalphon. Fantastic meditations that you can use whenever you need. Additionally, you can use something as simple as crystals. using a crystal that resonates with your root chakra, a red or a black one, something like tiger iron, black obsidian, using that to your advantage. You can put it in a pocket, the closer to your skin the better, really, and have it with you throughout the day. You can use a bracelet or a pendant. Using the tools you have at hand will support you in grounding yourself and being able to embrace the opportunities that this week brings you. And it's up to us to make those decisions using our head and choosing the high vibration, taking that high road. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this reading. I hope that you found this reading fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which helps us to start raise our vibration as a whole. Additionally, if you did like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way, my friends. You don't want to miss any of it. And the best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight, healing, and learning is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell. And if you want, I also have a Patreon page. So if you want to support me in making more of these videos, you can head down into the description box. There you're going to find a link to my Patreon page. Of course, there you're going to find it full of perks and tiers that include things like free readings and healings. And of course, I also have that library of Patreon exclusive videos just for my supporters. Like I said, I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends. Hello and welcome, my Lapis Lazuli friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks about the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Lapis Lazuli friends. What can my Lapis Lazuli friends expect from the week of February 14th through the 20th? Confusion. Well, like I said, this is the tail end of Mercury retrograde. We're holding on to a lot of heavy, low vibrational energy. It's been a hell of a year. Most of us are coming up to that calendar year of COVID. It's been a challenge. It's been hard. On top of COVID, there's been so many other things that have occurred that's added to that veil of confusion, uncertainty, and heaviness. This week, we're really going to feel lost in the fog. It's about taking a stand, using our skills and our abilities to push ourselves forward. Yes, we may have confusion. However, we're not alone. We have the ability to tap in to our high vibrational support team that's going to help give us that guidance. Help us keep going, one step at a time. It's up to us to set some intentions, ask for the help we need, and keep ourselves going. Like I said in the introduction, when I did the Aquarian readings, I said that Aquarius wants to support us in realigning and getting motivated again in what it was we were doing about this time last year. So, we have that confusion, let's get some more clarity. Because, like I said, we just need to ask. What should my Lapis Lazuli friends focus in on this week? I love it. Supply. Collect the resources you will need for the work. Make sure you are ready to meet demand. Everything you need is probably right in front of you, which is very true. We just can't see it through the veil. We can't see what's right in front of us. We're so caught up in that heartache, that pain, that we're not focusing in on what's happening right here and right now. Those opportunities, those possibilities that are all around us. We can't get caught up in the past or hyper-focused in on the future. We need to be present for us in the here and now. It's going to support us in gaining the direction out of this confusion, allowing us to embrace the opportunities, those possibilities that we can't see through, the fog, through that confusion. Let's gain some more insight here. Let's look at our week. What can my Lapis Lazuli friends expect from the beginning of the week? Interesting. The 7 of Swords. Now, 7s, they're a bit of a challenge number. However, they're also a lucky number. With some work, you're going to succeed. Now, the 7 of Swords talks about trying to get away with too much. Pulling the wool over someone's eyes. Adding confusion to the mix. The 7 of Swords here talks about how your ego is amplifying this confusion, keeping you stagnant and stuck. We need to cut out the fluffiness, the puffiness that the ego has put around you, causing that confusion. Getting down to the heart of the matter. We need to use our critical thinking skills, our assessment tools, to support us in looking into what's happening in the here and now. The supply card said that we need to collect the resources you will need. Well, that resource is knowledge. It's going to help you dissipate some of this confusion, helping you to focus in at the task at hand, rather than that future or past, that heartache and pain. Focusing in on what's happening in the here and now, what's important to you, and what is going right. Because it's in that right aspect, those aspects that bring in joy and fulfillment, that you're going to lead yourself out of that confusion. The more you engage in those life-sustaining and fulfilling activities, those creative endeavors, the more knowledge and insight you're going to gain. We get out of that confusion. We get out of that worry and fear and embrace that light and love. We're going into the Valentine's Day week, as it starts off at the beginning of the week, in confusion and wrapped up in that pain and fear. Giving ourselves that time, especially at the beginning of the week, to engage in activities that bring us joy and happiness, we'll start to shift the energies of our week, shifting our perspective and bringing in a lot more support that's going to help us to overcome the challenges that we're going to face. So, the beginning of the week, it's important that we start to gain those supplies, those resources that we're going to need to overcome that confusion, that pain and heartache. And part of that, a big part of that, is going to be giving yourself permission to engage in some fun and creative endeavors. We don't want to hyper-focus in on what's not going right. We want to focus in on what is. It's going to get us to the heart of the matter. Get us to what's meaningful for us at that high vibrational core level. Also, like I said, will help bring in more wisdom and knowledge when you're not focusing in on what's not going right, those what ifs, that fear, those demands and expectations. And you're focusing in on that creativity, on that fun. High vibrational beings can add in a lot of aha moments and added supports that will help you over this confusion and pain. Let's go into the middle of the week. What can my Lapis Lazuli friends expect from the middle of the week? It's truly amazing how much support and movement we can get by giving ourselves a little bit of time to be creative. And whatever that creative element looks like for you, that's not the important aspect. The important piece is that you're getting out of your head. You're not focusing in on the demands, the expectations, the what ifs. You're focusing in on expressing self and opening yourself up to that knowledge. Being present in what it is you're doing. It goes a long way in combating that uncertainty, that fear. And if I wasn't clear enough, just going to say the sun just came out. The 19th card in the Major Arcana. You focus in on this, and, well, the law of karma is going to come and kick you in the butt. You focus in on this, you're getting on your high horse, and you're wiggling your magic wand and creating magic in your life. The sun can dissipate this confusion in a snap, in a heartbeat. Focusing in on what's going right, what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what gets you out of your head and gets you going again, what motivates you, what rejuvenates you. Giving you time for you goes a long way in getting you unstuck and out of this confusion. It's exactly what Aquarius has been saying since, well, the end of January. We need to get ourselves motivated, get ourselves clearer in our understanding of us, helping us to connect in more fully with things that bring us joy, things that bring us happiness. And those are the aspects that we want to nurture, what we want to grow within us. They're going to help with that development and shifting us from that low vibration, that gunkiness that we're all dealing with. Let's see where the sun's horse leads us. What can my Lapis Lazuli friends expect from the end of the week? It's funny, when you read tarot, you partially read the cards, right? You read the pictures. And we're all attracted to different depictions of the same cards. In this depiction, it looks like he's finally dropped all his books, all that weight that the ego has put on top of him, and got on his high horse and is enjoying his experience, enjoying what life has in store for him, rather than getting all caught up in these books, those expectations and demands. Sure, That knowledge is important, but so is balancing it out with that fun and happiness. Creepy card, but really helpful this week. Death. The 13th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that transition and that release. We need to release what's not working and engage with what is. Engage and allow space within you to have it grow and thrive. Think of it as having a cup within you. Well, we all can't fit everything in that cup. It starts to overflow. And so there's only so much we can fit within ourselves before we need to start releasing aspects and pieces. Because if we don't make that choice, well, the lack of choice is a choice unto itself. And we start to lose aspects that may have meaning, that we may need. And so making that choice on what we're releasing so that we can go forward. One of the ways that we can support death in that release of, well, what's not working, that heartache and that pain, is through a meditation I did with Archangel Metatron. We worked on releasing that pain. It's not serving you, so it's time to release it. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know about my meditations, I have 2 playlists. One is healing meditations that I do with archangels. And then I have another playlist that's called Just You and Me, where we look at tools to support you on moving you forward and enjoying this lifetime, this experience. Both meditation playlists are free to you to use and revisit as you need. All my meditations are about 30 minutes and they're guided meditation. We know that meditation helps to heal us and calm us on many different levels, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And it helps us to calm that inner brain and balance it out so we use more aspects of it. We primarily focus in and function from one sphere, the right or the left. When we meditate, we allow ourselves to tap into all aspects, allowing us to make a very clear and creative solution for your greater good. It's not just a solution of expectation and demand. It's something that's high vibrational and meaningful for you. That's the one piece we need to focus in on, is that knowledge. Using our head and our creativity is going to overpower the confusion, the heartache and pain that your ego is bringing in. Your ego can't hold up to that critical thinking. It can't hold up to that creativity. It burns way too bright within you. Using these tools to support you in dissipating this confusion, allowing you to move forward in a meaningful way, healing you and encouraging and invigorating you. This week, you can gain the supplies that you need for the development and growth you want to help you forward, help you into the next zodiac sign of Pisces, and help you to engage with what 2021 is going to offer you. And that's the big piece. We need to put action, engagement, and intention into what we're doing. So, this is what the week is offering you. Let's look at the challenge. It can be hard to look at the challenge. However, it's important to know about it so that we can overcome it with greater ease. What challenge will my Lapis Lazuli friends face for the week of February 14th through the 20th? the Five of Swords. Our ego is going to battle us to the bitter end. Unlike the Seven, where with some work you can succeed, which is very true this week, especially with the Sun. The Five of Swords, it's all about that conflict. It's all about that challenge and instability. Your ego is going to throw everything it's got at you to slow you down. Like I said, that knowledge, that creativity, it can't hold up to it. It doesn't have the stability. You're going to find that your ego tries to misdirect you, to mislead you, to add confusion and heartache, to slow you down. It's time to release some of those aspects. Archangel Metatron will support you with releasing what's not working so you can embrace what will. I know it can be a bit of a challenge and a bear. Our ego, we can't get rid of it. It's our lower vibrational self. However, we can give it less power. Taking back that control and overcoming the obstacles our ego lays out for us. Now, the ego is depicted in the swords. Swords are minor arcana, whereas the high vibrational self is depicted in the Sun and the Death. Those are major arcana. Those are bigger energies. You have the ability to squish your ego. Take the knowledge, because your ego has loosely based its misdirection, its pain, its heartache on events, on patterns that we need to learn from. Take the knowledge and move yourself forward, releasing the pain and taking that knowledge and using it to your advantage. That will support you in shifting from this confusion and getting yourself motivated and going again. Let's look at what further supports we can embrace this week. What blessings can my Lapis Lazuli friends embrace for the week of February 14th through the 20th? Oh, wow. So important. Forgiveness. Now, this isn't about forgiving others. The important aspect here is forgiveness of self. It's probably one of the most challenging things you will do, is forgiving you for action, whether it be overt or passive. Reactions, ways we responded, how we carried ourselves, how we've held on to things. That forgiveness, it's an essential aspect on clearing things up and moving forward. Now, forgiveness can be a real bear to try and tackle, and it can be hard to know where to start. So I have another meditation that can support you with this. And that is one I did with Archangel Zadkiel. Him and I, it was earlier last year, we worked together and did a self-forgiveness meditation. It's a fantastic meditation to start on this process. And this is a process, guys. All of this. As we experience and learn, added patterns and challenges arise. We have confusion. We've done things we're not so proud of and we need to release. It's an ongoing progression. Not to mention, we're still holding on to stuff from past experiences and lifetimes. That release, that healing, it's a big process. It's a big project that we signed up for. Knowing that in this lifetime, we have the knowledge and ability to do so, where in past experiences we didn't have as much knowledge. With the technology today, that knowledge, it's vast. We're able to incorporate pieces and elements of different religions, spiritualities, healings, self-care and love, knowledge for self, and use it to our advantage. So this process, it's not going to start and end in this 1 week. It may start in this week, and it will finish in lifetimes to come. That forgiveness, it's a big part of clearing up that confusion and defluffing ourselves from what it is the ego is trying to pull the wool over your eyes and get away with. Complacency. That action, that movement forward. Well, that's something only you can do. We need to choose to be active participants in our life. When we are bystander and just watching our world go by, we miss out on so much. That insight, that guidance, that experience, it passes us by. Making decisions, setting intentions, and then going after it. This is your experience, and what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. Part of that action is breaking patterns. Without breaking that pattern, we're doomed to repeat the same situations, causing more heartache and pain for that pattern, bringing up more resistance and stagnation in our lives, which compounds that heartache and pain. And then our mental health, well, that's a slippery slope. When our ego's in charge, we slide down it pretty darn fast. Taking that power back, making decisions for your greater good. That is truly what this week holds for you. All right, let's see what other information I can share with you to help you take control back. What further insight, wisdom, and guidance can we share with my Lapis Lazuli friends for the week of February 14th through the 20th? The Ace of Swords. Those aha moments. They're going to come fast and furious, especially as we engage in those aspects that bring us joy and light. They bring us happiness. When we get out of our head, we get out of our way, and those solutions, they come forward, inspiring us, motivating us to do even more, helping us with that release and that forgiveness. Being open to that and being aware goes back to being present and active in our everyday. We can't get caught up in that pain, caught up in the past, hyper-focusing in the future. We need to be in the here and now so we can be open to that insight, to that wisdom that's going to, well, push us even further, to inspire us, motivate us. The Four of Wands. It's the first wand we have. We've had a lot of swords here. Wands are about that passion, that creativity. Fours are a stable number in tarot. The Four of Wands is a rite of passage card. And this is very true for you guys. Like I said, way up here, that creativity, it's going to set you free. when we tap into that creativity, that fulfillment and joy, we open up the gate to that rite of passage, to shifting from that confusion to that light, that inspiration, that joy. This week is a rite of passage, one of the opportunities that this week offers you. However, you need to put intention and action into your week to trigger that rite of passage. Only you can trigger this. Only you can step through it and go forward. And finally, the Eight of Wands. Eights in tarot are about movement. They're about manifestation. That movement is going forward. The Eight of Wands talks about gaining that insight and that guidance from the high vibrational beings. Your high vibrational support team, the universe. The original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the Rider-Waite deck, she had 8 wands descending from the heavens and heading straight to the earth, showing that divine guidance and support to helping you move forward. And that's true right now. We need that added guidance and support to help us know how to go forward, help us to release, and to forgive. That's why I have my meditations with the archangels. That's why we collaborated, knowing we need that support, that insight, that guidance, now more than ever. Taking that time, connecting in to the wisdom and insight that's going to shift you out of that confusion and into that sun. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this reading. I hope that you found this reading fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is offering you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, which helps us to start raise our vibration as a whole. Additionally, if you did like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way, my friends. You don't want to miss any of it. And the best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight, healing, and learning is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell. And if you want, I also have a Patreon page. So if you want to support me in making more of these videos, you can head down into the description box. There you're going to find a link to my Patreon page. Of course, there you're going to find it full of perks and tiers that include things like free readings and healings. And of course, I also have that library of Patreon exclusive videos just for my supporters. Like I said, I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Lapis Lazuli friends.